Hi, welcome back. Have you ever felt like you were at the top of the world? You created an invention that helped every single person around you. You became a billionaire and everyone loved you. But then some who just did not need your invention came along and convinced everybody you sucked. Then more and more people like this appeared and you fell more and more into obscurity. That's exactly how Silverwolf feels. Not as if pixels in a game have feelings, but anyway, my name is Moose and today we're looking at Silverwolf, Honkai Star Rail's most possibly unintentionally nerfed character. Before we start, you should like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and join the Express Red Discord server for a community filled with content like this. By the way, only 7.2% of everyone watching right now is subscribed, so you should do your part and click that button now. Let's get on to it. First things first, we should do a very quick overview of Silverwolf's kit. If you want a more in-depth view, go watch my video where I rated all 5 stars in the game. Silverwolf's main gimmick, aside from 45% def reduction with her burst and 10 to 30% resistance reduction with her skill on a single target, is that with that skill she can apply a weakness on an enemy that corresponds to the weaknesses you have in your team. So if you have a fire character in your team and you want to apply a weakness on an enemy that doesn't have it, you can try your luck with Silverwolf's skill and apply fire weakness on them. But this also means if you have more than one more element, it's a chance of applying any of these elements on your team. Despite this, Silverwolf was great back when the game first started out. She was the best debuffer, and if you didn't have her on your account was bricked. If you didn't have her, you didn't have a chance of clearing anything. That's because characters were scarce, and there were only a few DPSs for each weakness type. Silverwolf was what made everyone's accounts go from not being able to even touch MOC level 10 to clearing it so easily it's almost as easy as your mom. She was even better because Sela was the best DPS back then, and she was also Hunt Quantum. This not only meant that the chances of hitting the right weakness with Silverwolf's skill were higher, since 2 out of 4 characters were Quantum in that team, but also since Silverwolf is single target, the likewise single target Zila didn't need any character that could debuff multiple targets. Everybody praised Silverwolf and nobody ever thought she would fall out of obscurity because she was so good, except for one man. That man is Tectone. He never got Silverwolf because he always knew that she was gonna fall into obscurity and never see the light of the meta again. He's famous for a line. There are 2 types of people, those who know him right and those who don't know it yet. And not surprisingly, he was correct. After Honkai and Jingliu came out, Silverwolf became less useful because not only did almost all the new enemies correspond to Dill and Jingliu's and even Blade's types, but since she's single target, she could not debuff multiple enemies on the field to help Dill and Jingliu, who are of course AoE, kill them faster. They also had better synergies with other supports like Branya, Pella, and Tingyun. Honkai also needed a lot of skill points at the time, and Silverwolf isn't exactly known for being skill point positive, but at least she was still kinda useful with Zila. During this time, there was still a bit of hope for Silverwolf. Dr. Ratio had just come out, and of course everyone got him because he's free, including those who do and don't have Silverwolf. Dr. Ratio of course needs characters that can apply debuffs so he can send out his full follow-up attack. Before the true power of the IPCFUA team was realized, Silverwolf was Dr. Ratio's best support because she applied multiple debuffs, from her ultimate to her skills 2 rest reductions, which I don't know if they count as separate or the same thing, to her skills weakness implant, to her 3 different bugs, to maybe even the sweaty light cones debuffs if you have it. Silverwolf was insane again because Dr. Ratio also only needed you to debuff 1 target because he's Hunt. She actually got redeemed for a while that did not last. Fast forward a couple updates later and Acheron came out. This was also around the time when Zila became almost useless because she can barely kill 1 enemy to proc a resurgence, which halves her total damage. This already drops her value so hard because, as we said, she wasn't very useful with Dill and Jingliu. Then came along Acheron, who breaks enemies' toughness despite what the enemy's weaknesses are, which of course makes Silverwolf's main gimmick completely useless. But to her credit, Acheron likes to have 2 Nihility characters on her team, and back then, Pella and Silverwolf were the best pairing for Acheron until Sparkle came out. Pella and Sparkle are one of the best pairings for Acheron right now, and back then they were held at an even higher regard. Pella does AoE Death Shred and Sparkle has such insane crit damage and damage percent buffs that it's actually better than using 2 Nihility characters with Acheron. But maybe Silverwolf had a little bit of hope because the next really strong DPS characters to come out really like to break enemy weaknesses. Those characters are of course Firefly and Boothill, who absolutely slapped Silverwolf and shocked the entire community with the fact they do not give a about what enemy weaknesses are, just like Acheron. That means the 3 top DPS characters, Firefly, Boothill, and Acheron, and the 3 a level below them, Honkai, Jingliu, and Kafka, and then also the IPCFUA team, all had supports and synergies that are way better and more worth than Silverwolf, because not only is she only single target, which drops her value to insanely low amounts, but the top DPSs don't care about weaknesses. Then the final 2 nails in the coffin came in the form of Jiaosho and Fei Xiao. Those 2 really cemented the fact that Silverwolf is not not good right now, and she's not going to be for a very long time. Jiacho is a 100% uptime debuffer unit who applies 35% damage taken increase and 15% ult damage taken increase. He doesn't do more damage reduction than Silverwolf, but the cool thing is that he is AoE just like Pella. Now I myself think Jiacho isn't worth it at all for most players, because Pella exists, he's just good, not crazy. But also because Pella exists, Silverwolf is pretty bad now. What's more, the newest DPS in the game, Fei Xiao, not only doesn't benefit enough from Silverwolf since her best teammates are follow-up attackers and Robin, but of course also doesn't care about enemy weaknesses. Hooray! Or hooray, if you will. Now, one great thing about Silverwolf is that she's pretty good in the Apocalyptic Shadow. The whole shtick with this mode is that there's one boss and you need to kill that one boss. However, as mentioned before, all the top teams in the game don't really care about Silverwolf's weakness gimmick. Of course, you can use her instead of Pella with Acheron for this mode, but that's the thing. She's only slightly more useful than Pella in this mode. For the emoji and pure fiction and simulated universe modes, Pella is just dominant over Silverwolf. When Silverwolf gets a rerun, I wouldn't recommend getting her at all. She was a reality hacker until Herda deleted all her files or something. Very unfortunate. I also don't believe Silverwolf will get much redemption in the future. They keep putting out characters that just don't care about what enemy weaknesses are, and while sure, she also decreases resistance a whole bunch, Jiacho and Pella do it just as well, if not a little worse, and they do it multi-target. If she was multi-target, she would be the best debuffer in the game by a long shot. Now there is one way they would make her better, and through this not only will she be redeemed, but she'd also become insanely overpowered. If they ever add an Annihility LC that can spread whatever debuffs you applied on one target to other targets as well, either on adjacent or just the whole field, that LC would make Silverwolf incredibly powerful again, and Jiacho would stop getting so overhyped. Please, Hoyo, make Silverwolf great again. And that's it. Thank you for watching and listening to me yap. Like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this in the future, and join the Expressway Discord server for a community filled with content like this, and I will see you next time.